Good morning. Welcome to the Crawford County Board of Commissioners meeting for March 9th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance with Commissioner Wiederspan.
All rise.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Francis.
You're welcome, sir.
Any approval of minutes for the meeting on February 23rd?
So move. Second?
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Any approval of the minutes from the work session on March 2nd, 2022?
So move.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Any approval of payment of bills in the amount of $2,224,376.60 for the period ending March 8th, 2022?
So move.
Second?
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Any public comment? Thank you. There were no executive sessions. Judicial Center maintenance.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Tim.
Morning, Tim.
I'm seeking to ratify the contract for $5,374 for Schneider Electric for the UPS system over there.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second with a question. Are we approving or ratifying? Have we already paid it and agreed to it, or?
We don't have record of that, we just have approval.
Yeah, I just need to get it signed.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to clarify
Sure,
if we
right.
were approving or ratifying, so.
Okay, probably moved second. Any other discussion?
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay,
Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
guys.
Tim.
Domestic relations. Good morning,
Carl.
Morning, Carl.
Hi. Since last meeting and the concerns of the commissioners, I took those into consideration, and so I'm here to request one person to attend the Eastern Regional Child Support Association Annual Training Exposition in New Orleans at an estimated cost to the county of $700.
I will make that motion.
I will second it.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion?
Just appreciate you looking at that.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Register and recorders.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Morning,
Beth.
Beth.
I'm seeking to ratify the payment for the invoice for the Optical Storage Solutions Software Support Agreement in the amount of $18,824, effective March 1st, 2022, for a period of 12 months. This is for the Landex software used by the Register Recorder's Office, Clerk of Orphans Court, Assessment, and Court Administrator. This invoice is split between the offices. This is a budgeted item.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also approval for the payment of the Home Depot invoice through maintenance in the amount of $716.57 for shelving supplies for additional record storage at the QLC. And this invoice will be paid with records improvement funds for the Recorder's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Public safety.
Morning, Greg.
Morning, Greg.
This morning, we'd like to request the approval for the payment of $2,190 to LSSE Civil Engineering Group for their continued work on the Greaser Road Tower project. This is an approved item paid out of the ARPA funds.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Thank you. We're also requesting to approve the payment of $15,000 to Mobilecom as the project manager for the Greaser Road Tower project. That's an approved item out of the ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
The correctional facility.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Morning,
Jack.
Morning, Jack.
This morning, I'm looking for approval to purchase 8 outside building lights, building replacement LED lights, purchased and replaced by Cox and Kenyuk at the cost of $2,574, and this is a budgeted item.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Secondly, I'm looking for approval to update the current Exact Vision camera system software to the latest version. Update and training to be completed by Johnson's Control at the cost of $983, and this is also a budgeted item.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank you.
Jeff.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Jeff.
The Care Center.
Good morning.
Morning, Tanya.
Morning.
Tanya.
I'd like to request to approve the renewal of the PACA Patient Trust Fund Bond Renewal. It's effective 4/1/22 with no change.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
And request to approve the quote for a roof inspection and test from Farrell Roofing, the amount of $1,597 to be paid from maintenance inspections.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
And request to approve the policy to update per diems to receive overtime after 40 hours in a week rather than over 8 hours in a day.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank
Tanya.
you.
Thanks.
County maintenance.
Morning.
Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Asking to approve paying Scobell to fix the air conditioning in the IT server room here in the courthouse for $765.60.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Asking to ratify an invoice from the courthouse remodeling project, the new assessment office, in the amount of $754.65.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Asking to ratify an invoice from the courthouse remodeling project for the new register recorders remodel in the amount of $10,843.47.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Crawford County Planning.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Morning,
Zach.
Zach.
First item, we are asking to ratify a payment to Motorola Solutions, Inc. for the City of Titusville's Fire Department radios in the amount of $20,299. This is paid for out of the City of Titusville's fiscal year 2020 CDBG program.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Next, we are seeking approval to pay an invoice for the Meadville Tribune in the amount of $800.50 for the East Street paving project advertisement. This is paid for out of the City of Meadville's fiscal year 2019 CDBG program.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
We are also seeking to approve a reimbursement to the CATA for their January 2022 invoice for the Rural Family Workforce Transit Program in the amount of $56.70. This is paid for by the county's 2019 CDBG program.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Next, we're asking approval of invoices for the Meadville Tribune in the amount of $1,609.75 from the following project advertisements. All of these are paid for out of the fiscal year 2018 CDBG program. Those advertisements include the Rocky Glen Road ERR final notice, the Rocky Glen Road ERR notice of intent and request for release of funds, and the municipal building architectural barrier removal invitation bid for Beaver Township, Steuben Township, and Richmond Township.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
And then the last item this morning, we're asking approval on the following cooperation agreements with municipalities for assistance for administering their American Rescue Plan Act funding. These communities include Cochranton Borough, Conneaut Lake Borough, Sagertown Borough, the City of Meadville, Lionsville Borough, and Spartansburg Borough.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Crawford County Human Services.
Morning.
Morning,
Morning,
Sue.
Sue.
First item, I'm requesting approval for a contract with the Erickson Institute to provide training services to Crawford County Human Services supervisors. We have had a significant turnover in our supervisory staff and are looking to provide a comprehensive training to allow consistency among the group. The FAN training is a conceptual framework and training model for improving the communication skills of professionals who serve families. The FAN training will include 2 days of training, planning, and coordination, training materials, 2 days of core FAN Level 1 training for 22 supervisors, 6 months of monthly phone mentoring to support the supervisors, and a final day of FAN Level 2 integration training for supervisors. The total cost would be $26,600 with a cost to the county of $1,420.14.
So moved.
Second?
Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Next, I'm requesting approval for the data release agreement between Crawford County Human Services and Penn State University. This agreement allows for research activities and collaboration between Crawford County and the Child Maltreatment Solutions Network at Penn State. The Solutions Network has been established as a research partner with Pennsylvania's Department of Human Services in accordance with Child Protective Services Law 23, PA Code 6342, relating to studies of data in records. John Rubin, Deputy Secretary of DHS, Office of Children, Youth, and Families, indicates his support for this ongoing commitment. There is no cost associated with this agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
And finally, I'm requesting approval for consultation services for an LGBTQ+ community needs assessment for Crawford County. One of the priorities in our 2021-2022 Human Services Block Grant submission was to improve our understanding and needs of the LGBTQ+ populations within our community. We have been in contact with this agency to provide us with up to 5 hours of consultation at $200 per hour, construction of the needs assessment measure for $800, collection of online responses at an estimated $100, data analysis at $1,000, and a presentation of the results with a hard copy at $300. The total cost would be $3,200 with a cost to the county of $170.84.
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Finance.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
For your approval, I have invoices totaling $30,419. These were detailed at last Wednesday's work session.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussions? Roll call.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
And for your ratification, I have invoices totaling $674,161.18. These were also detailed at last week's work session.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Okay, we have requests for new hires and employee transfers for March 9th.
I'll make a motion to accept the new hires and employee transfers as provided in our packet.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henry.
Yes.
Soft.
Aye.
Weiderspan.
Yes.
Just for information, the next work session is March 16th. Next full session is March 23rd. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Weiderspan.
I'll just like to throw it out there that coming up April 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning will be our annual cleanup day at the Crawford County Forest. And along with that, there will also be some educational information shared that day. So I'd just invite everybody to come out. If you don't know where it is, you can always check on GIS, and it's out near Hightown, just off Mystic Park Road, along Graytown and Rosenberg Road. At that intersection is about where we usually meet at 9 in the morning, and we're usually out there at about 4. Not only just cleaning up the forest, but walking around and see what we can do to enhance the forest and make it better for the public to enjoy in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Saw.
I'll start out by reminding everyone that this coming Saturday is the annual Jack Curtin St. Patrick's Day Parade and Celebration. Kicks off at noon at Diamond Park, downtown Meadville. Wear something green, watch from the sidelines, or join in. It's always a great event. Appreciate the organizers continuing to keep that event strong, and I'm sure, once again, Jack Curtin will be smiling down upon everyone. So hope to see you there. Election news. In case you haven't heard, I believe the Supreme Court remanded the Act 77 mail-in voting bill back to the Pennsylvania Superior Court, Supreme Court. So as we sit here right now, still Act 77 is in place. So mail-in voting is still an option for all Pennsylvanians who are registered to vote. So if you are interested in an absentee or mail-in ballot, please get in touch with the Voter Services Office and you can fill out an application. They're also available online. Petitions, because of the strange calendar in light of the legislative redistricting, the whole election calendar is in a bit of state of flux. Petitions are due next Tuesday, March the 15th, for all statewide and local party offices. Still, petitions have not yet begun to be circulated for the Crawford County legislative districts and the state party offices. So hopefully we'll get some word from the Department of State or the courts soon about that. Of course, they did keep the May primary on May 17th. That has not changed yet. So the last day to register for that primary is Monday, May 2nd. The last day to apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot is Tuesday, May the 10th. So I encourage you to check out the Crawford County website under the Voter Services page if you have any other questions, or feel free to call our office and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. I would just like to close with something I mentioned this morning on social media. We have a lot of projects going on. People may or may not know. We've approved windows. Windows are on the way. They'll be starting here soon. We are reviewing a ventilation project, which is in the low $2 million range, and we also are approving a ramp project in the front, a handicap ramp for the front of the building, and that's in the mid $300,000 range. I find it interesting that sometimes you hear different things about prices and quotes and what we're doing. I simply ask that you just ask one of the three individuals up here at the table. We'll gladly answer those questions for you. All of those projects with the intent of improving this building to help repopulate the second floor and try to get that ball rolling. So I'm very happy with the progress, and I think that we could be in for some construction months. Mm-hmm. So we ask everyone to bear with us because it could be a little dusty here and there. But at the end of the day, I think those three projects are very good projects. I think it's going to move this building forward. So if you have a question about those projects, don't guess the price. Just ask. We'll tell you, and we will, or read the paper. Thank you, Keith. Excellent. You can read the Meadville Tribune. There you go. I'll give a little plug for you. So if you have any questions, please reach out to any of us. With that being said, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. Just us, no Kristen there?
She's over in the courts.
Yeah, Keith.
Okay.
Her and Keith both.
I will bring the salary board meeting to order for March 9th. We'll start with the approval of minutes in the February 23rd meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There were 3 executive sessions, February 15th for Human Services, February 28th for the Commissioner's Office, and March 1st for Planning. We'll start with motions before the board, and we'll start with Gina.
Okay, I'd like to request ratification of the emergency change of rate for Diane Fuller, per diem clerk, effective 2/28/22, 11.50 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Human Services.
I'm requesting approval to ratify the emergency change of rate for Ethan Davis, per diem dispatcher, effective 2/14/2022 at $15 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I'm requesting to ratify the emergency change of rate for Linda Lilly, Tom Madalino, John Stearns, Shirley Gregory, Peter Albaugh, and Mandy Post are per diem drivers, effective 2/14/2022 at $11 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sue.
Thanks, Sue.
The Care Center. You just like to drag these meetings on, don't you?
Goodness. All right, I'd like to request to ratify the rate for the emergency new hire of Ashley Elliott, per diem CNA, replacing Mackenzie Stallman, effective 2/23/22 at $14.50 per hour, plus $2 per hour from ARPA funds, and an additional $3.50 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Request to set the rate for the new hire of Denise Bliss, per diem LPN, replacing Misty Phillips, effective 3/10/22 at $17.50 per hour plus $5.50 per hour from ARPA funds for first and third shift, and $7.50 per hour from ARPA funds on second shift, and an additional $2 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Request to set the rate for the new hire of Jenna Mano, per diem RN manager, replacing Brianna Sealy, effective 3/10/22 at a rate of $28.69 per hour, plus $5.31 per hour from ARPA funds, and an additional $2 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Request to set the rate for the new hire of Jada Speed and Skylar Ketchum, per diem TNAs, newly created positions, effective 3/10/22 at $14.50 per hour plus $2 per hour from ARPA funds, and an additional $3.50 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Request to set the rate for the new hire of Elena Schaefer and Kim Gauss, per diem CNAs, newly created positions, effective 3/10/22 at $14.50 per hour plus $2 per hour from ARPA funds, and an additional $3.50 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Request to set the rate for the transfer of Carrie Gillies, per diem RN manager, transferring from per diem LPN, replacing Melanie Mullen, effective 3/15/22 at a rate of $28.69 per hour plus $5.31 per hour from ARPA funds, and an additional $2 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Request to set the rate for the new hire of Rachel Claspy and Shauna Lance, per diem CNAs, newly created positions, effective 3/17/22 at $14.50 per hour plus $2 per hour from ARPA funds, and an additional $3 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And request to set the rate for the new hire of Sally Cooper, per diem TNA, the newly created position, effective 3/24/22 at a rate of $14.50 per hour plus $2 per hour from ARPA funds, and an additional $3.50 per hour from Care Center HRSA ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya.
Yes, the rest of this items or for information only, I would like to point out that Mr. Seipel is 13 years. I think that's nice to see. And
Yep.
anybody wants to see Todd's, I couldn't figure out who Robert Seipel was at first, but now I got it. If anyone wants to see his work, just go to the Registrar Recorder's office and the new assessment office because they're doing a great job. But congratulations to Todd for being here 13 years. It's great. For that, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's that? Okay, we'll bring the retirement board meeting to order for March 9th, 2022. We'll start with the approval of minutes of the February 23rd meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There were no executive sessions, and we're ready for you, Gina.
I'd like to make the motion for Stacy Campbell, formerly of the Correctional Facility, to withdraw retirement with a start date of 6/12/2008, last date paid in interest of 2/25/22.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, I make the motion for Xana Carroll of the Care Center to become vested in retirement with a start date of 9/21/2007, last date paid 1/29/22, and interest ongoing.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next is a correction. I guess I have to make a motion to correct.
Okay.
Paige Kelly of the Care Center to roll over retirement rather than withdraw as previously stated. The start date 3/29/2020, last date paid in interest through 1/21/22.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, I make the motion to approve the PNC payment in the amount of $9,348.84 from August 1st, 2021 through October 31st, 2021, activity fees paid from the retirement checking account.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And last, I make the motion to approve the PNC payment in the amount of $9,204.36 from November 1st, 2021 through January 31st, 2022, activity fees paid from the retirement checking account.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any other business for the retirement board? If not, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you. And Commissioner Sopp will have a election board.
Okay. If you pass this one down, Francis, please. All right, officially call the election board meeting to order, please. And ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the November 2nd through November 24th, 2021 meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So we have a few items on the agenda today. The first one I wanted to discuss was relating to payment for our poll workers who attend poll worker training. We're currently at $10 per person who attend poll worker training. We've checked what some other counties are doing, and Jess and I have talked about it. And what we would like to propose is that we move that $10 to $20 per person to attend poll worker training, with the caveat that you only receive that $20 if in fact you work the polls. Doesn't happen a lot, but there are occasions where someone comes to training, but unfortunately they end up not working the polling precinct that day. So we'd like to propose that adjustment. And just wondered how the board felt about that.
Well, I've got mixed feelings about doubling the fee. I certainly agree with, if you don't work at the polls, you don't get paid for training. That, I certainly don't have a problem with that. And I'd be a little more comfortable with 15 rather than 20, but I'm certainly willing to enter into what you gentlemen
Sure.
thoughts are.
Well, I appreciate that. I think a big part, frankly, of this, among some other things that we're gonna discuss are, we continue to beg and plead to get poll workers. And I don't know if this singular thing will be, a game changer, if you will, to entice more people, but maybe this with some other things combined will get us a little more activity and a little more interest in being a poll worker, so, that was our thought anyway. Eric, what do you?
I think I'm okay with the 20. I think it just, we haven't probably caught up to it in a while, and I mean, maybe it will entice people to see, or at least the people we have feel like we appreciate them coming to the training, because the training is important for sure. So,
Okay, so my inclination, I guess, is to, if you're both okay with it, to have us act on it now, but I guess I would rather run that by Keith if it's proper to
Okay.
talk about it and act in the same meeting, so.
okay,
Maybe we'll just discuss
Bring it
now and defer that to the
Okay.
next election board
That's
meeting
fine.
for an actual vote.
Right,
So,
okay.
Okay,
That'd be a good
thank
idea.
you. Next is then somewhat related, but a discussion regarding poll worker pay on election day. Again, Justin and I have kind of reviewed what other counties are doing and how they're paying their poll workers. And, as another effort to try to get poll workers to feel a value to serve the county and work on election day, I think the minimum currently that we pay judges and some others, maybe the judge, is $91. About 2 years ago, I think, year and a half ago, we increased it $5 from 86 to 91. Again, our thought is increasing that to $101 from 91, so another $10 increase, and then a $10 increase for the other positions, the clerk positions, if you will, and other inspector positions. No doubt it's a long day, and a day, though, that we cannot do without having those people there. So that would be our recommendation or ask, is to increase poll worker pay on election day by $10, I guess. And I think across the board, although I would want to review the pay sheet to be certain before I actually, that'll be something that we can do within the next 2 weeks. If you're so inclined, we can, again, vote on this in 2 weeks. What thoughts there?
Well, my thoughts are kind of along the same line as the poll worker, but my main apprehension is just the increased cost both of those are gonna put on the county. And I agree, there's certainly issues with getting help, just like any business or anything else going on in our country right now. I'm not opposed to at least putting some toward it, but I'd like to see what that total effect would be
Okay.
of the increase.
Okay. I believe preliminarily, the difference would be about $4,000 for the poll worker pay increase, about $2,500 for the training piece increase.
And that's for each election cycle.
Correct. Yes, that's correct. I think based on last year's numbers or the year
Right.
before or something. Any other thoughts on that?
I would just say I think the increase might help garner some interest. Currently, I think we're filling positions. And maybe we can get some people who would be interested, and I think Jeannie can attest to the fact that we really value the quality of some of our poll workers, but we also realize there's weaknesses that we could maybe improve on in some other areas. And she feels confident in some precincts opposed to others, and I think this might help get some folks that really are interested, but yet feel that 13-hour day is actually worth minimum wage, which would be right around there for the judge, if not a little bit less. So yeah, I mean, I'd certainly want to look at the numbers though and see what the total is.
The next item, we have kind of touched on this at prior meetings, but nothing formal, and that is have a discussion regarding formally appealing to I believe it's the Court of Common Pleas, to consolidate certain precincts in both the cities of Meadville and Titusville. Before you, you have a couple of maps and some information that show the numbers of registered voters in each of the precincts. If we just look at the city of Meadville first, as you know, in the last election, we moved certain locations, we didn't consolidate precincts, but we did have in one location 2 precincts voted, in another location 3 precincts voted. Every indication that I've heard is that that went very well in each of those places. So the thought would be to make a formal appeal to the courts to change the number of our precincts from 9 down to 6 by making those permanent, if you will. And there's a process by which, you know, we must follow and provide the data, and I'm sure there's a period of public comment and all of that that the courts would have to weigh. But we can't do anything until we actually make the formal appeal. In the city of Titusville, we would be, you know, as you're aware, last year, and I believe in the primary of 2020, all 7 precincts voted in the same location, although, again, each individual precinct was maintained separately. The thought this year would be to, again, make that formal appeal to move from 7 Titusville precincts to 3. It just seemed to make sense, and as part of that, we're still looking at potentially a singular location, whether that be at the current location where we're going to vote this year at the Titusville YMCA. The University of Pittsburgh has always been very generous to the county in allowing spaces for voting. I think the only reason we moved out of there was because they were involved in some construction projects. So there's a possibility of, again, having a singular location in Titusville, as we're doing again this spring. Where that singular location is, we still have some discussion yet. Or there's a possibility of moving to 3 separate locations in the city of Titusville. But that would be the thought, and I'll just mention this, I'll go back to Meadville. The thought would be to combine Titusville 1-1 and 1-2 into Titusville 1, period. Combine Titusville 2-1 and 2-2 into Titusville 2. And then combine Titusville's 3, 4, and 5 into Titusville 3. So those would be the 3 precincts in Titusville. The consolidation of the city of Meadville, again, would be having Meadville 2-2 and Meadville 3-2 be a singular precinct. I haven't really thought about how that numbering would be just yet. And the other one would be consolidating Meadville 3-1, Meadville 4 and 5 into a singular precinct. And I'm sure that renaming will all be part of the information that we provide to the courts. But that's the thought. Our numbers would be relatively the same. And it just seems that it would be a much more efficient way that we conduct the elections in those 2 cities. It would assist with our acquiring poll workers, judges. It would be a little less of a struggle, if you will, to get those positions filled in those 2 locations, those 2 cities. I know Gina's put a lot of work into it in helping me get the numbers, what they would be, and Phil has helped with mapping where the locations are. And it just seemed to make sense for a potential consolidation. So that's the thought. Again, 2 weeks from now, I'd ask you to think about it, but any initial concerns or thoughts?
I would say two things, and appreciate Gina for all the work she did here. It's a nice chart. It's easy to read and interpret. The big three, as Gina calls them, the Westmead 1, Salisbury, Hayfield, 2,187, 2,115, 2018. These consolidations don't come close to those numbers, and that's good. I would only ask that the people that are affected by these folks, especially in Meadville, to reach out and talk to us if there's a concern, because we want the input from that. There was some discussion about the Meadville 5 move before, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows, again, you have the opportunity to speak to the Board of Elections and concern positive or negative thoughts, but I would defer to Francis about the Ticeware, because that's where he covers, but I think it's efficient and it does well, but I certainly want him to talk on that part. So.
Yeah, like Eric said, I'm most familiar with Titusville. That's why I've kind of been my area of the county, that eastern third, since I've been a commissioner. And I think it makes perfect sense in Titusville to go down to 3 precincts. I know Gene and I talked about it for a long time, probably toward the end of my first term as commissioner, and each year I tried to get a little louder to try to get this accomplished. 'Cause I think it makes sense, not only, as we discussed earlier, the trouble was getting poll workers. I think this helps relieve that somewhat. We won't need as many poll workers. And the people in Titusville, I wasn't able to be there last fall, but in 2020, when we were at the middle school, all combined in the gymnasium, the voters and the poll workers just loved it, being in one location. And they were able to help, because we were short of poll workers then, as we usually are. And they were able to help their adjoining precincts help with coverage. So getting it down to 3, Titusville's kind of already used to that with precincts working together. And so I think it makes perfect sense. And not that I don't think Meadville's a great idea as well, but I'd feel like I accomplished something very important if within the next 2 years we get this done.
Okay. And I'm not exactly sure the time frame in which what the process takes. But obviously nothing can happen until we formally request that the process move forward. So again, if folks have comments, please get them to us. Remember, a lot of this, or at least some of this, is driven by ADA accessibility. There are certain locations that just frankly aren't ADA accessible, and even though there may not be anyone who needs that accommodation right now, that still doesn't relieve us from abiding by the ADA laws, rules, and regulations. So, if those locations, want to take on the thousands of dollars that it would cost to change their facility, that may be a discussion point. However, I would also say that in some of these locations, there are just so few registered voters that to some degree it doesn't make sense to keep that certain site as a polling location. So that's kind of the thought process, but absolutely, if anyone has a question or concern, let us know and we'll address it. But I'd like to put it on the agenda for 2 weeks from now and consult with our solicitor and see what we need to do to get that process moving.
Sounds good.
Okay? Thank you. Other business? Do either of you have anything you'd like to bring up?
No, I think that what you talked to us about yesterday, that all of these delays and changes are certainly things that we are frustrated with as well. I know people are confused by petitions, confused by who can get their petition signed. We share all of your frustration, and it's been difficult for us to get on the right path, I think. So that's my only concern. It's still waiting, I guess, so, for things.
Yeah, I would just echoes Eric's comments. I can't imagine, especially those candidates that are planning to run this year, they gotta be going crazy, not knowing for those that haven't even started signing petitions yet, how long will they have, and is the election gonna be May, or is it gonna be some other time, or God forbid, 2 elections? That would be, I don't even wanna think about that one.
Right.
Well,
Gina's penning her
is a possibility.
resignation right now. She's like, I quit.
And I mean, believe me, I fully understand that, I guess they needed to wait until the new census figures came out. But I also feel that all the parties involved have really done a disservice to the voters of the Commonwealth.
I agree.
You can't change boundaries and expect everyone to agree with it in the months preceding a primary election. If they wanted to make a change for what would effectively be 2 years from now when the House seats come up again, perfectly fine. But to do it in the manner in which they did it, and the time period in which they did it, frankly compromises every county election ability to pull off something. And the further they go without making a decision, the further it impairs all of us. And again, the voters are the ones who suffer the most. So it's unfortunate, but it's where we are. We've been here before. I dare to say I'm sure we'll be here again unless something changes. But anyway, as soon as we hear about the word final keeps being used. This is the final. Nothing is final yet until actually I guess the courts say it's final, and there are no challenges to that. So as soon as we have more information, we'll let you know. As I mentioned in the commissioners' meeting, of course, petitions for those who have them out right now are due on the 15th. Of course, the dates to both register to vote and to fill out an application for a mail-in or absentee ballot are similar as they have been. And as of right now, the primary is still May 17th, so let's hope that doesn't change, I guess. Anything else to come before the election board?
Yes, sir.
If not, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you.